Thanks for supporting the channel by clicking the links in the description box. And thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And now let's get into this podversation. Hey, let's have a conversation about Nene leaks. And hey, I have no idea. It is not exactly confirmed that she has been fired from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but there's been a lot of back and forth, mainly with her, on social media about whether she is returning or not, because the last season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, she missed several episodes. The rumors were that she had been suspended.
What is your problem?
And the suspension, they were saying it had to do with the season prior to that, where she pulled on one of the cameramen and they say injured him in some way, possibly knocking a tooth out. I don't know. But they said that she was suspended for several episodes. And then, as you saw, if you did watch that season, she spent a lot of time when she came back on the last season trying to get in people's good graces and apologizing and also making accusations about Cynthia Bailey not being who she portrays herself to be. There possibly being a tape or an audio recording of Cynthia saying some negative things about her. It was just a lot of back and forth drama on the show. But with her walking off of the virtual reunion, which really was her putting her laptop down, closing it, and not returning, there was a lot of speculation whether she would be coming back. Now, there's been a lot of her saying that there's negotiations going on. She was laughing off the rumors about her not coming back or even being fired. And she made tweets about it. And, there was just a lot of back and forth, mainly, like I said, with her on social media. But now recently, her Instagram, she's deleted it. And Tamra Judge, who was one of the Real Housewives of Orange County, she was on for several seasons. She wasn't one of the originals, but she came on pretty early in the show, and she had been on ever since then. I think she may have come on in season 3, either season 3 or season 4. But either way, she came on pretty early, and she has been on since, as of recent, they let her go. And they let Vicki Gunvalson go, who was actually one of the originals and actually the only original. And she would always call herself the OG of the OC. But Vicki Gunvalson, she was terminated. Tamra Judge, she was terminated. Bethany, she left on her own terms, but it's possible that they had plans to let her go. And she said, well, you know what, you can't fire me because I quit, sort of thing. And we all know that Bethany, she has made herself into a powerhouse. So she really didn't need the Real Housewives of New York. Honestly, the Real Housewives of New York City for Bethany was more of her just promoting her brand and promoting her products and promoting her businesses, similar to what Kandi is doing now on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And honestly, I feel a lot of people get tired of seeing it because nobody really likes commercials. So when you have a television show that you're watching and it's a constant commercial of somebody promoting their stuff, then people kind of get tired of it. People are happy for your success, but when you're constantly promoting your business, like a commercial over and over again, and then you're trying to act like it's not a commercial, then people kind of get tired of that. But I went off on a little bit of a tangent there. But what my point is with Nene, whether she's been fired or not, she's making a lot of statements now about supporting Black women.
Here we go, Star Jones. Black women don't support each other. Okay, bitch, when did it become a Black issue?
And that's true. I have no problem with people standing up for Black women and supporting Black women and protecting Black women. But unfortunately, I feel like what she's doing when she's making these statements, it is disingenuous, and she's making it about herself. Yes, she is a Black woman. Yes, she is the person who is, I believe, the sole breadwinner for her family, because I don't believe her husband works. And she's got 2 kids, even though they are of adult age. I don't really know what they're doing besides being supported by their mom. And that's just the truth. It's not a knock. It's not to be negative. It's just what we see. It's just what they show. But she made a tweet saying, support Black women, protect Black women. You have no idea what they've been through or the weight they have carried on their back silently for years, with a lot of S's at the end. Thank you. Bye. And then before that, several days before that, she made a tweet saying that she has protected everyone for years and covered up things that she shouldn't have. She said she took the beating so others didn't have to, and no one has protected her or stood up for her. And she says, you all have gone silent and turned the other cheek, which that actually doesn't make any sense, but I'll say why in a second. And she says, you are not exempted from getting this same treatment one day. Now, turning the other cheek, that is a statement meaning, somebody slaps you on one cheek, you turn the other cheek, you don't, try to take revenge out. So her making that statement didn't make any sense, but whatever. I think most people will agree that if Nene was fired, if she doesn't return, it has nothing to do with race, because Nene has definitely been somebody, especially from the beginning seasons, who's made a name for herself on the show, because let's be honest, she was acting out in certain instances where it involved Candy, where it involved Kim, Sheree.
How long have you known Tyrone?
It doesn't matter.
I'm just making a point.
What's your point?
You didn't know Tyrone, but you've known me. And you just decided to take what Tyrone said and believed it.
Like, she just didn't care. She would blow up on somebody and she really didn't care. She wasn't trying to act differently because she was on camera. If she was going to act ghetto, then she was going to act ghetto. And to be honest with you, that's entertainment for a lot of people. Whether you're white, you're Black, you're Asian, Hispanic, when you're acting stupid or when you're doing things that are cheeky and, people may perceive as fun, it's entertainment for people. And for Bravo, it's making money for their network and for the show. It's bringing in more people to advertise, and that's where the money is rolling in.
You're saying that I've taken money out of your pocket.
So her making this about race, I think it's a hard sell, because if you are an employee and you get a big head about yourself, but you're doing a good job for the company, there's only so much they're going to take of that. They want the profits to come in. They want the job to be fulfilled. They want the job to be done. But you better believe that in the background, they're looking at ways that they can cut you. They're looking at ways that they can replace you and replace you for less money. The Real Housewives of Atlanta was a job. It was not her creation. She was not an entrepreneur that created the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She was getting a paycheck. She was an employee. So you can't be an employee working at a company and pretty much threatening them and putting innuendos out there on social media. You're hiring an attorney. You're talking about how Bravo is racist, and I don't understand how she actually thought that this was going to work in her favor. Not so much, it might work in her favor in the end. I don't know. She may have some sort of lawsuit if she can uncover some things or expose some things that we are not privy to, that we don't have knowledge of in the back end. But on the front end right now, being an employee and you expect to be rehired, and not only rehired, but rehired to make more money than you did before because you're acting out, they're going to create a monster that they're going to have to chop the head off at some point. And unfortunately, I feel that in a way they did create a monster, because Andy Cohen, he started that little talk show, Watch What Happens Live. And he would have her on as a guest a lot. Let's be honest, it brought in more ratings, it brought in more viewers, which means for him, more money. So of course, he's going to ask controversial questions that are going to get people talking, and get the show trending on Twitter, whatever social media platform. So more people will go on YouTube and watch clips of it later, or DVR the show and watch the show on television. So he would ask her questions like, who do you think we should bring back next season? Knowing for all intents and purposes, Nene did not have the power to do that. But it was going to stir up controversy, and it's going to stir up and cause bad blood, which will also bring in more viewers for the upcoming seasons. He knew it, but she fell for the trap. She fell for the bait. Instead of being graceful, and she didn't have to really change who she was, because we all know Nene to be loud and out there and saying it like it is. You can say it like it is and not have to say it all. So she could have made statements where it would have just left people clueless or left people hanging or not really knowing how she felt about it. But she made it clear that she felt like Cynthia Bailey should be fired and replaced. She made it clear that she thought that Portia Williams should have been fired. Phaedra should have been fired. But let's be honest, she didn't have any power in that. Phaedra did what she did with the accusations against Kandi, and she made her own bed with that situation. But her making those statements, it caused bad blood between her and Cynthia Bailey, which at one point they were supposedly best friends. And Cynthia Bailey made it known. She said, I would never try to take food out of anyone's mouth, and for Nene to make statements like that, I just think that that's hurtful. And Portia and she had those same issues, because Portia and Nene, they pretty much had a fight over semantics, because Nene didn't actually say the word fired, but that's what she meant. And Portia was not happy with Nene for saying those things, and Nene's fight was over semantics, saying, I never said fired.
You fake as hell. You done sat on that show and said you want me fired.
I can admit to anything.
Does the word matter? It's the intent that you had behind it, and you felt like she should not have been able to return to the show. So Nene liked to feel as if she had power, but apparently she really doesn't have all of that power, because she, at the end of it all, was an employee. And I say was because I kind of have a feeling that she's not coming back. I feel that she just didn't grow in grace. She just grew a bigger head, became more entitled, and I liked her. I don't dislike her. I definitely don't hate her. And whether I do or not, it really doesn't matter. But I'm just discussing the issue because I feel that more people feel like I feel, which is the fact that whether she was let go or not, it has nothing to do with her race. And the times also that we're in now, this happened before the coronavirus. But the times that we're in now, so many companies are laying people off, they're letting people go. And I don't think that most people who are working regular 9-to-5 jobs have time to sit and feel sorry for Nene not getting her contract renewed. Because every day you hear of another company that's shutting down. People are getting laid off. They don't know if they're going to get their jobs back. Unemployment benefits have been cut. They don't know if there are going to be any extensions in terms of increased amounts for people. And people are getting eviction notices and different things like that. So Nene has been blessed over the years to act the way that she has been acting. She got paid to be bullyish. I wouldn't say she was a bully, but she got paid to be bullyish.
I'm here to talk about everything.
I want to talk to you
I'm talking about everything.
what closed the door.
No, I don't want to talk about what closed the door. I'm talking about the friendship.
She got paid to be loud. She got paid to say bloop and the different things that she was doing that they thought was funny. They paid her, and they paid her really, really well, because we could see her lifestyle and her looks got upgraded over the years. Whether you like the looks of her face and body, or her home and the interior design of it, it's neither here nor there. It's just, we could see that her lifestyle and her looks got upgraded over the years because they paid her to act the way that she was acting. But when they say that they don't want to do it anymore, they have the right to do it. And so I don't think that it's cool, and I don't think that it's fair for her to attach herself to movements that are going on right now, because there is a lot of things going on in the world right now where it involves race. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now where we're talking about women and supporting women. So I think it's disingenuous for her to attach herself to these movements that are going on right now, because she has benefited.
She is so damn fake. Jeez.
In a lot of ways that a lot of other people don't get the opportunity to do. She is, one of a few that has gotten to benefit off of acting the way that she is acting. So when she's calling out the network and saying support Black women, I mean, everyone on the cast of The Real Housewives of Atlanta is Black. They used to have one Caucasian on the show, Kim Zolciak. I believe she's Italian. Since she's left, they haven't replaced her with another. It's an all-Black cast. And so when she's saying support Black women, she's really just talking about herself, because she's finding herself in a situation that she doesn't really feel like is fair, or she doesn't want to be in. And I believe she has a lot on her shoulders, because she clearly is the breadwinner for her household. Her husband isn't working and her children aren't working. I believe she bought her oldest son a house, and he's been in the news over the years with, different issues. But it's her attaching herself to the supporting Black women movement. I just don't feel it's something that she can claim with regard to her not being asked back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I believe they probably offered her something that she declined, that she felt was beneath her, because she has been that way over the years, calling herself, very rich.
I am very rich, bitch. I just say I am very rich.
Rich, you need to get your mother teeth fixed. How about that?
They're done.
That she's cashing these Trump checks, and that Sheree is jealous, and she was just kind of talking down to people. It just became cringeworthy to watch her over the past couple of years. I mean, even one of the women that she brought on the show as a friend, Tanya, who has a pretty likable personality, she started going against her. She didn't even give it one full season to be the woman's friend and be on her side, and then turn against her the next season. I mean, she did it the very same season when she felt like Tanya made a statement that was negative about something that she bought from her boutique. And that really wasn't her intent. But Nene is always on the defensive when it comes to stuff like that, when she feels like somebody is trying to come at her in a negative way, when that really wasn't what they were doing. So you guys let me know your thoughts on it, but I just felt that her saying that we should support Black women when it comes to her getting a big contract on the Real Housewives of Atlanta to return. It's not fair. There's so many Black women out here right now that are suffering, like literally suffering, that have never and probably will never get the type of opportunity that she got. And hey, if she squandered it and she didn't really do right with her money, and now she's needing this next season to get her by, that's not the network's fault. It's not your job's responsibility to make sure that you are fiscally responsible. And also, you don't have to have a job with them, because they can let you go at any time. And if you're in a contract, once the contract is up, they don't have an obligation to bring you back. They can either renew the contract, they can amend the contract. I mean, I'm just speaking from the terms of being an employer. I'm not a huge employer like Bravo, of course, but Nene was an employee. And to be an employee and to be demanding and to try to blast the employer on social media, what employer in their right mind would want an employee to come and work in their business that acts that way, when they feel like they're walking on eggshells for the employee and they have to do as that employee demands? That is something that most companies do not want in their business. And even if that person is bringing a high rate of return of revenue for the business, they are looking for ways that they can remove that employee, and they can even cut the cost, because companies are always looking to cut costs. They're always looking for cost-cutting measures so that they can bring in more profits and bring in more revenue. That is the business of being in business. It might sound dirty to some people, but it's just really what the truth is. We live in a capitalist society, and that's how this country operates. So nobody really has the right to work. If you look at employer and employee rules, a lot of states in this country, it says, you don't have the right to work. It sounds crazy, but I remember when I was in the legal field, and the first law firm I ever worked in, it was an employment and labor law firm. And when I learned that there was no right to work in the state that I live in, and many states are that way, we would get calls all the time from people who would want to file an employment discrimination case for whatever reason, but they didn't have a case because they didn't have the right to work. An employer could let them go for any reason at any time. So yeah, it sounds dirty, it sounds nasty, and it may be dirty, it may be nasty. It shouldn't, I don't even agree with it, but those are the rules. So for her to claim discrimination and that she's a Black woman and this is happening because she's a Black woman, I just don't feel that she has a case. And again, like I said, I could be wrong, because maybe there's some things on the back end that hasn't been exposed to the public. But again, that would be between her, an attorney, and a court of law to rule on whether it is or not. So, but in this situation, there have been white counterparts from other franchises of the Real Housewives that have been let go, who have been there for a very long time, and they're letting those people go because they're looking to cut costs, period. So I don't believe that it is about her being a Black woman. I believe it is about the green. But those are just my thoughts. You let me know yours in the comment section.